What's up, everyone? Welcome into From Beyond The Paign. It's a Illinois basketball podcast. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. If you're new here, the first post-game show of this podcast history. Where were you for the first post-game show in this podcast history? I was at home being really freaking annoyed by Illinois because they almost got upset by Oakland. 64-53, the final in Champaign at the State Farm Center. I started this podcast because I needed an outlet to complain about Illinois because they are my second love, guys. They are my second love. The Cubs are number one and Illinois is number two. And I will ride or die with this program every single year, no matter what. This year, admittedly, I'm a little bit down on the program. I said that on the first episode of the podcast. You can go check it out on my YouTube channel or on the podcast feed that I tweeted out for my Twitter account a few days ago. The point is that despite the fact that I entered this season with low expectations, I still find myself sitting here just absolutely annoyed at the fact that we almost lost to Oakland. And it's not that Oakland is a bad program. They're not a bad program. I could look them up right now. I've as a degenerate gambler, I have bet on them in recent years, and they're not a bad mid-major program. All right. Kendrick Nunn, Illini legend, transferred to this school after he got kicked off the team. The more you know, if you didn't know. Fast forward to today. Anyway, Illinois for about 30 minutes, really, they couldn't get anything going offensively. They couldn't make free throws. They were 4 for 10 from the free throw line in the first half. And honestly, that's probably the thing that bothers me the most about this entire game, because if they made all their free throws, they would have been up 11 at halftime. And at least it would have felt like, okay, Oakland, they're giving you a nice, they're giving you a test, whatever. Instead, you're only up 1 at halftime because you can't make free throws. You're not making any threes. They didn't make any three-point shots in the first half. So you're not making free throws. You're not making three-point shots. Honestly, all I could think about was last season. And that's why I'm not high on this year's team. They literally just reminded me about everything that was last year's team. Last year's team couldn't make free throws. And last year's team took a lot of threes and didn't make any of them. That's a lot. Today's game just gave me very big vibes from last season. That's it. And you know what? Listen, I know it's the second game of the year. I know that you want your team to peak in February and March and not in November. But the only thing that I was, I guess, somewhat hopeful for this season was that at least they would do the little things better. And they can't make free throws. Their first 2 games of the year, they have struggled making free throws. They're turning the ball over. And it's just, I don't know. We got a comment here in the YouTube chat. Jack V. Last year's team probably doesn't defend their asses off like they did tonight. That's true too. And I will say the general vibe, team chemistry, they're really pushing that stuff this year, at least coming into the year. They're pushing that. Everyone likes each other, whatever. I don't. We're on the outside looking at it. I don't know how much all that really means, but I will say that they did defend tonight. They did defend tonight, only allowed 53 points to a team that, shoots a lot of threes from what I was reading. So whatever. I hate being negative on a winning postgame. It's just the fact that for 30 minutes, this team looked awful. So I'm thinking, okay, what if you look like this against, I don't know, Mizzou in December, or they're going to go to Tennessee in December? It's not like you don't play any important games soon. All right. Like, these are supposed to be like tune-up games. And hopefully this is just a step along the way, right? I'm not jumping to conclusions saying we should do anything with Brad Underwood. I'm the biggest Brad Underwood stan that you will ever meet. But I'm just so discouraged with tonight's game. And maybe it's overreactionary. Maybe I should have waited till tomorrow to do this. I don't know. But all I know is that this team's got to play better if they're going to This team's got to play way better than this if they plan on even making the NCAA tournament. If they even plan on doing that. All right. Jack V says, my biggest complaint is how Brad just lets teams who want to play slow. Should have been pressuring them a lot more. I could agree with that. You know, I know a lot of people love to criticize Brad Underwood's in-game adjustments, right? I feel like that's probably most people's biggest complaint for him. And you know, I can't necessarily disagree all the time. I think the reason that I am such a big Underwood guy is the fact that the recruiting has just been so much better with him at the helm than it ever was with John Gross and even Bruce Weber. And so, you know, for him to be able to start bringing in guys, you know, in state from Chicago, some of the best players in the state back to this program, it's like, I don't remember a time where that was like that outside of, you know, D Brown when I was a kid, and I could be missing some other guys, but you know, I'm just saying like there are pros and cons with him for sure. I've never said he's the best coach in America. I will say in my last episode, I do think he's a top 5 coach in the Big Ten, and some of these preseason coaching rankings that I've seen have him outside the top 10. And I just don't understand when you have more wins than anyone else the last 4 years in conference, but whatever. I'm not trying to veer off onto that. All I'm saying is tonight's game better just be part of the tune-up process. That's all I can say, because I just want to see them not hurt themselves. That's what you got to make free throws. Don't turn the ball over, like bad turnovers. There was one play in the second half. They got a big stop, come down. I think Shannon brought the ball down, I want to say, passed it to Damask. And then he ended up turning it over. He was trying to get it to the middle of the paint or middle of the floor, and he turns it over on the pass. Like literally the moment you make a nice play on defense, you come down and you just turn it over right away. And it's just like, I feel like we've seen that a lot. You know, I unfortunately I didn't get to watch the first game against Eastern Illinois, aka my alma mater, aka the Harvard of the Midwest. But you know, that game, it's first game of the year. I'm willing to just let it play out, and they end up winning by like 28 anyway. Whatever. This game, I just expected a little bit more, considering you played one game, you're at home, and you know, like I don't think the expectations are nearly as high as going into last year, but I guess people just want to see something different. Like this, like I saw a friend of mine from Illini Twitter, Mike Carpenter, he tweeted this at halftime. And shout out to Mike. Mike, if you listen to this or whatever, shout out to you. He does the 200 level podcast. It's one of my favorite Illini podcasts to listen to. At halftime, he tweeted, Illini basketball will be all right this year. Your size and athleticism raise the floor, but you can't shoot the three consistently, and you don't have a point guard who can create for himself. So your ceiling is limited. We'll be all right, but probably just all right. And like, that's how I feel. Like, well, you know, they should be an NCAA tournament team. I don't think they're going to be a Sweet 16 team unless the stars align. That's it. I think that's just how I feel. Like the stars would really have to align for them to really hit that, you know, hit that ceiling, I guess. And I don't even know what the ceiling is. I think the ceiling is Terrence Shannon Jr. just goes off and carries the team. And that's kind of what he did in the final 10 minutes of this game tonight against Oakland. He finishes with 15 points, 5 assists, 3 huge steals. One of those steals was at right around the 10-minute mark where it felt like Oakland had all this momentum. He gets a steal that leads to a dunk, and then suddenly Illinois started hitting shots, and their defense turned up, and they go on a run, and they win by 11 points. But before that steal, it felt like things were just falling apart. And I was starting to sweat a little bit. I was like, are we really going to get upset at home to Oakland? I don't know. So, disappointments for this game. I would say, the starting 5 was great for the most part, right? Shannon, 15 points. Ty Rodgers, 10 points. on 5 of 8 shooting. Damask had a nice second half, scoring all 7. He was real quiet in the first half, but in the second half, he scored all 7 points, and making the first 3-pointer of the night. I think 22 minutes into the game. I thought Hawkins, I'd like to see him a little bit more aggressive. Only 5 shots, but he did get 8 boards and had 5 assists. And then Guerrier, 13 points. I'm still trying to feel him out, but 13 points, 10 rebounds. Can't complain about that. He made his presence known. I thought Dane Danger off the bench had some nice moments. I'd still like to see him finish around the rim a little bit better, but I love the footwork on the post. When I watch him in the footwork he has, it is impressive to me. And if you have that coming off your bench, great. Let's see. But Gibbs Lawhorn, he had a great first game of the season. Tonight, 0 points, 0 of 3, 2 rebounds. Didn't really make any kind of a presence in the game. Luke Goody, 0 for 2 from 3. That's it. Nothing. The bench is pretty quiet outside of Danger. So they need more production, man. They absolutely need more production than just their starting 5. If they're going to reach any kind of, if they really are going to finish in the top 3 of the Big Ten, like all the preseason rankings have them, behind Michigan State and Purdue, they're gonna need more production from the bench. So, Jack V, on the bright side, I'm cautiously optimistic about Marquette because the crowd will be more in it. It will be more in it, and they're polar opposites of Oakland stylistically. Sure, yeah, no, and also there has to be some sort of revenge on the mind for some of these guys on the team. I think Hawkins was definitely on that team that lost at Marquette a few years ago, up at the FISM Forum, I believe. It wasn't last season, the season before. I went up to that game in Milwaukee, and it was absolutely brutal. And I drove home very, very pissed. But yeah, no, that game is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I can't wait. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm interested with what some of the people here are thinking. We're 12 minutes into the show already. I feel like I got my anger out. I am, I want to be optimistic. You're 2-0, and you won by double. You won by 28 against Eastern, and you won by 11 against Oakland. They're worst possible things. You could have been Michigan State, who lost. Who'd they lose to the other day? They lost to James Madison, right? There's already been some upsets, within the conference. So, I mean, things could absolutely be worse. So I am hopeful that this is just a, part of the process of, getting that continuity together, and we'll see. Like I said in the first episode, I fear about, no true point guard, right? Like Ty Rodgers, 10 points tonight, 1 assist. Hawkins and Shannon both had 5 assists, so fine. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying about Shannon is like this team's peak might just be if Shannon just kind of turns into, the everything guy, like scores and gets, averages 7, 8, 9 assists. Over a 5 to 10 game stretch or something once they get into the Big Ten season, or, in March or something. And like, maybe they outperform what many people expect because of that. That's basically what they're going to need to happen if this team is going to be to outperform my expectations. I would guess, I don't know. I hope that we can come back to this episode and laugh at it, because, I've never really been this annoyed after the second game of the year, at least in the Brad Underwood era. And I guess it's just because I tell myself I'm not going to have high expectations coming this year. And here I am acting like I have way too high of expectations. I need to bring them back down and just remember that, like, this team, like my guy, Mike Carpenter said in that tweet that I read, this team is limited, and they're going to have success doing A, B, and C. And they are going to have flaws when it comes to consistency at the 3-point line. Obviously, this team is still struggling at the free throw line. I mean, the free throw thing is it seems like it's such a mental thing. It's like the players like know that everyone talks about it or something, and so it's on their mind, in which then it just affects them in game. I mean, these first 2 games for Illinois at the free throw line, not great, Bob. Not great. All right. Tonight at the free throw line, Illinois, 8 of 16. 8 of 16. You make the other 8, you win by 20. 19, 20 points. I can't math. I'm not a math guy. Well, you're 8 of 16. 8 of 16. All right. I'm going to look it up right now. Illinois, Eastern Illinois box score. Goddamn. This is bad audio, one might say. Illinois box score. Okay. Illinois. Okay. Why won't you just bring up the box score? I don't know. Someone let me know. Illinois, I don't even know what they shot against Eastern. But while I'm looking this up, it just seems so typical. I tweeted this during the night that like it feels like every year Illinois struggles with free throws, year in and year out. It's just like a never-ending thing. Okay, I did find the stats. Here we go. They went 12 of 23 against Eastern. So 12 of 23 against Eastern in the first game of the year. Followed that up tonight with 8 of 16 at the free throw line. All right. It's not great. All right. They went 10 of 32 from 3 against Eastern. Okay, you made 10 threes, but it took 32 attempts. I don't know if I like that. Again, they won by 28, whatever. But then tonight they go 4 of 16. Yeah, they went 4 of 16. So I'm actually in some aspects glad they didn't shoot 32 threes. I think they need to be somewhere in the middle there. If they were taking like 24 to 25 3-pointers a game, that's fine. It did definitely feel like they shot more than 16, but whatever. They're lucky that Oakland went 5 of 20 from 3. And, I could get into the positives and just say, hey, they played great defensively. I thought they played great defensively the entire game. Illinois started out real slow on offense, and I think Oakland was up 14 or 15-9 at one point. And I was just like, man, we are just jacking up brick after brick after brick. And it's like as soon as I tweeted that, they made like the next 4 shots. And then I don't think they ever fell farther than, 2 or 3 points the rest of the game. But yeah, I don't know. The defense was great. 3 steals, all from Terrence Shannon Jr. They had 2 blocks. They forced 10 turnovers. And they didn't foul. I'll give them that too. They didn't foul. They had 8 fouls on the game. 8 fouls. All right. They won the rebounding game, 36 rebounds to 32. They had 9 of them were offensive boards, which I like to see. They got to be better shooting the 3, and they got to make free throws. I think that's my 2 things. My 2 takeaways from this game: shoot the 3 better, make your free throws. It's not that hard. Also, you had 9 turnovers yourself. So stop turning the ball over, make your free throws, and shoot the 3 better. Those are the 3 things. Three things. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I wasn't going to do this podcast for more than 30 minutes. We're about 20 minutes in. Before we get out of here in a little bit, here in a few minutes, just wanted to let everyone know, I got a lot of good reaction on Twitter to the fact of this podcast being a thing. So I appreciate the people from X who are tuning in, who are, I don't know, subscribing, whatever. I appreciate y'all. Again, I don't know what this is going to turn into, and I'm just happy to be talking about Illinois because we just don't have enough people at CHGO right now to be able to do an Illinois podcast. So I just took it about myself to do my own. That's where we're at. So, yeah, I appreciate it. And, we'll see where this goes. I feel like more viewers and more people will be more excited to talk about the team and listen to the talk about the team once we get into the conference season and all that stuff. But yeah, the reaction on social media was a pleasant surprise because obviously on my Twitter feed, most of my brand is covering the Cubs. And so that brings in a lot of fans from other Big Ten teams. I know a lot of Indiana fans. I know a lot of Iowa fans. I know a lot of Michigan fans. I know a lot of Michigan State fans. The entire Big Ten in general. So it's cool to see a lot of Illini fans that are Cubs fans that are checking this out. Tell your other Illini friends. Don't tell them that I like the Cubs if they're Cardinal fans, though. I did want to mention before I ended the show, they did have some signings this week, as in Illinois, obviously. What do you call it? I'm scrolling through their Twitter feed right now because I did not write it down. But they signed Jace Butler. What do you call it? I can't remember the other guy's name. Morez Johnson Jr. He's the main one. The number one recruit in Illinois, I believe, is what he's ranked on Rivals. He's going to be here. I believe he'll be here in 2024. So it goes back to everything I've said about Brad Underwood. The guy can recruit the guy, or he has the right team to, guys around him that help him recruit some of the best players in the state. And that was something that Gross and Bruce Weber couldn't do, in my personal opinion. So I'm happy to see this trend continue out of Chicago. Just excited to see that. So him, and I hope I'm saying his name right. Jason Jackstes. I can't say his name. I can't, and I haven't heard anyone say it to me. Before the next episode, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna make that a point to figure that out, right? And also, this is episode 2, so this is just always going to be a roller coaster until I just get really good at this. But excited to see that we got 3 guys for the class of 2024 signed, and looking forward to future Illini teams. I think next, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do think next year's team can be. I think I can get up a little bit more for next year's team just because I think I've seen a lot of what is on this team now last year, and I think I know the ceiling for this year's team, and so I'm not overly excited about it, and I want to be overly excited about a team. That said, I hope this year's team proves me wrong. I hope they reel me all the way in by March. Hell, even earlier. Or reel me in by February 1st. Reel me in by February 1st. That's all I can ask for. Anyway. And also, play a goddamn game not on Big Ten Plus. I had to subscribe to Big Ten Plus tonight, and that pisses me off because I have too many subscriptions. Too many. $9.99 to watch Illinois tonight. I'm done complaining about it, but play a game on regular TV. Play a game on the Big Ten Network, not on Big Ten Network Plus, on the Big Ten Network. All right? That rant's over now. Okay. All right. Whoo. All right, folks. Not getting a lot of engagement on the live YouTube streams so far, but hopefully, that improves as the season goes along. I appreciate everyone who's going to listen to this back. Let me know what you guys think. Hit that subscribe on Spotify. I haven't got it to expand to anything other than Spotify. So go subscribe to the podcast on Spotify. And of course, make sure you're following me, Cody_CHGO on X, Instagram, and TikTok. I appreciate it. And all that stuff. One more comment before we get out of here. Sports Surge had the stream I got to watch without the pay at $9.99. Credit to you, Spurgeon. Your account looks familiar. I've definitely seen you on the X. I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna go find it next time they're on Big Ten Plus. Unless I mean, I could cancel anytime, I guess, right? I don't know. I can't do any more subscriptions. I can't do it. I absolutely can't do it. It's so dumb. All right. So Illinois' schedule before we get out of here. What is up next? Who do they got next? Illinois' schedule is. I just brought up the football team on accident. That's not good. That's not what this is. How do we feel about them against Indiana tomorrow? No one. Well, okay. Illini fans will tune in. I will. Pay attention to the score, but I promise you, I'm not gonna really watch it because I don't care. Because Illinois football makes me question why the hell I watch them. Next, oh yeah, we were just talking about Marquette. They got Marquette next. All right, Tuesday night, Marquette. That game is for sure going to probably be on national television or on the Big Ten Network. All right. So what we're going to do for everyone watching this, listening, I am finally going to be able to do a live watch along. That is what I'm doing. That is the whole reason I want to even start this to begin with. We're doing the live watch along Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Actually, no, it won't be because I'll be on a plane because I'm going to visit my family in California. Damn it. Just when I thought I had it, I realized that I'm going on vacation because I told myself I would go on vacation when I'm in the baseball offseason. Dang. I got too far ahead of myself. I got way too excited. So probably I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find a way to record a podcast when I'm out in California and hopefully be able to watch this game. But we got Marquette next week, number 5 Marquette next week, then Valpo, my good friend Luke Stuckmeyer's alma mater. That'll be interesting. I'll probably give him a lot of trash talk if Illinois beats them. Let's see. Then they got Southern on Sunday. They got 3 games next week. They easily should go at least 2-1. I think, Marquette will be tough, but they will be at home for Marquette. So that'd be if they can beat Marquette, that'd be a huge win. Marquette, they're coming off. I think they got upset in the NCAA tournament last year, but they had a really good season last year in the Big East, and the Big East is probably one of the best conferences in college basketball this year. So that's going to be a huge test, and the only way I could see them winning is because they're at home. And again, they're due some revenge. I have not forgot about the game in Milwaukee 2 years ago. Have not forgotten. There's still some guys from that Marquette team and this Illini team that played in that game. So I think there's going to be some revenge factor in there for some of the guys, specifically Coleman Hawkins, I would say at the very least. I think Luke Goody was on that team too, but I could be wrong. All right. We're about 28 minutes in. I said I'd go 30 minutes. Again, I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate everyone for subscribing. Hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Last I checked, 159 total subscribers. Woo! So we'll celebrate when I get to 200, right? We'll celebrate when we get to 200. Okay. Again, I appreciate you all for checking out the show. Illinois wins 64-53. It was a very annoying win, but at any case, it was a win. We're 2-0. Marquette's up next. Hopefully, these first 2 games were a nice little tune-up. Hopefully, Brad Underwood has them in practice these next couple days, screaming, yelling, doing all the things that all the young kids think that he shouldn't be doing, that I see on social media because they're all soft. I hope he screams at them. Every time they turn the ball over in practice, every time they miss a free throw, you're running suicides. That's what I would be doing. Yeah, I don't know if that's good coaching, but that's what I would be doing. All right. So till next time, guys. I again appreciate you all for hanging out. We'll see you next week, perhaps, or at least on the audio feed. Till then. Bye.